Okay, this is my tutorial of Rosin's U-Load that works on all Ucreate devices. It does require that you have a Windows PC. To start, we're going to create a Ucreate folder. You can name it Ucreate. There we go. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using Reaper to make my samples. There will be a link to that in the description. First thing we're going to want to do is go to the Ucreate Facebook, and you're going to go to the featured part. Scroll down here till you see this Rosin's U-Load build. We are going to download this. Now we have our U-Load downloaded. For me, I had to use WinRAR to extract the file. That may not be the case for you, but if it is, just click download. Okay, now that we have WinRAR downloaded, you're going to take the U-Load, open it up in WinRAR, click into it, click the U-Load. It's going to ask you for the password. Type in unknown. Hit OK, and then here's everything that we're going to need. So we're going to extract this. You click on it, hit extract to, and then I'm going to find my U-Load folder on my desktop, Ucreate 1, and that should be it for extracting U-Load. Okay, so now we have U-Load extracted. The next thing we are going to need to do is we're going to download Zadig. You're going to click download right here. It should start your download. You're going to locate Zadig in your downloads folder, open it up, and then you're going to want to plug in your Ucreate to your computer and then turn it on. Up here, you're going to click options, list all devices. And then on here, I have a lot of these because I have a lot of USBs plugged in. And it could either show up your Ucreate as like mass storage. For me, mine comes up as this one right here, General Plus MSDC. If you're not sure what it is, just turn your Ucreate off, and it should disappear from here. Turn it back on, and then that will help you find it. You can also check right here, the USB ID should be 1B3F3201. And then you want to make sure that's a Win USB driver, which should be the default driver. Once you're here, it should say replace driver here, and just click on that. It was installed. Cool. We are now done with Zadig. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is make our own custom samples. I'm going to use Reaper for this. You could use a different DAW, I'm sure, but Reaper is easy for me. So when you open up Reaper, it will look like this. And then on the Ucreate, you're going to have 12 sample slots, and technically 2 that you can add on the recording part, but we'll get to that later. This will be named sample 0, sample 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So 12 total. I'm going to make 12 tracks by double clicking over here. Cool. So these are all my sample slots. And then to make things easier for the future, this is how you want to name it. Each sample, this is very important. This is sample 0. So name that one sample 0, _1, and then this one will be sample _2. And do that for all the tracks up until 11 right here. Okay, once you have all those named, you want to change the BPM to 96 to get a perfect 2-bar loop on the Ucreate. So change that down here. You can just click on it, type 96. And then I recommend that you make this and save it as a template so you don't have to remake this every time you want to add your own samples on. So come up here to File, hit Save Project As. I have a Ucreate folder. And then down here, I recommend you hit Create Subdirectory for Project. That will keep everything in this project all in one folder. And then hit Save. Cool, so now we have our template for loading samples. From here, you can drag on any samples you want. You can make your own, whatever you want to do. Once you do that, it should look like this. I recommend also that you save each sample pack. We're making a sample pack right now. I recommend you save each one. You might have to come back to it or fix something. Very important, make sure that none of your samples are peaking or clipping. I found when that happened, I'd get tones or some weird glitching that would happen. So just make sure none of your samples are clipping and you should be good. I also added a lot of compression to my master mix, which should help boost the volume on the uCreate. For some reason, when importing your own samples, the volume can get very low. So you can mess around with that. So I have all 12 of my samples that I want and the spots I want. Okay, now we're going to want to export our samples. You're going to select 0, hold shift, select all the way to the 11th, and then you come up here to file, render. You want to make sure that the source is the selected tracks, the stems, and that the bounds is your time selection. I would set your directory to something that you can find easily. For me, I have mine in a uCreate test file kit folder. And then right here, file name, come over to wildcards, project information, and then hit track. What that does is it makes it so you don't have to rename each of these files. You're going to want to make sure the sample rate is set to 8,000. Make sure your channel is set to stereo. Make sure that all of these are turned off. Down here, you want to make it on wave, 8-bit PCM. This will automatically be set to auto wave. Change it to force wave. And then make sure all of these are off as well. I recommend you save your settings. And then hit render 12 files. It will render them. You can open the folder that they got rendered to right here. And then that's all we'll need Reaper for now. Okay, what we're going to do next, I'm going to take my samples right here. I'm going to open my uCreate folder, put it on this side, come into uload, find my waves folder. I'm going to take all of these holding shift, and I'm just going to drop them in here. There's my 12 samples. You want to make sure that you turn on your uCreate before you try to load uload. So turn on the uCreate, connect it to your computer, open uload. And then what we're trying to do is just make a sample pack from our waves files. So we're going to type in 1. That should convert all your samples. They'll say done. And it's going to ask you for a name. Test 1. Hit enter. You can close out of uload. Turn your uCreate off. If you look in your sample packs, you should see the one you just made called test 1. These other ones are in here by default, and these are 5 default kits from uCreate. I recommend you keep these. The streets is the very first one, and that can help unblock your device if you ever run into issues. You're going to turn back on your uCreate. You have to restart your uCreate every time you open uload. So we're going to turn it back on. And now we're going to write the samples to our uCreate. So you're going to hit this one right here, write sample pack to uCreate, hit 2, enter, type in the name of the sample pack, test 1, hit enter, make sure you keep your uCreate on and connected. Alright, once it's done, it will say writing flash done, writing complete. You can just close the uload, turn off your uCreate, and disconnect it from your computer. Turn your uCreate back on, and now your custom samples should be loaded on the uCreate. Another thing you can do is load custom kits. There will be a link for this in the description. So there's this one, which is the Krimzon uload kits. You can download them and then simply just drag them into your sample pack folder. I will also be compiling some of my kits I've made. I'll have a Google Drive link for that in the description when I get that finished. Another thing you can do is in the recordings, you can drag 2 more samples in. So they just follow the same exact 2 measure 96 BPM wave file sample. So if you want to make those custom samples, have these titled as REC recording _0, and the second one recording _1. Select the 2 that you want to render. This will be all the same. Alright, here is where my rendered recording files are. I'm going to drop these into the recording folder. I'm going to turn on my uCreate again, plugged into my computer. Open it up. I'm going to make a recording pack for my wave files, so I'll type in 3. As you can see, that converted them. I'm going to press any key to continue. Turn my uCreate off, uCreate back on. Open uCreate back up. Hit 4, write recording packs to uCreate. It's done. I can turn off my uCreate, disconnect it from my computer, turn it back on. And now in the recording slot, which are these 2 down here, it should have the custom recording files that we just imported. There's not a way to make a recording pack that I'm knowledgeable of. So if you want to change these, just delete these 4 files right here, upload your new waves in here, and do the exact same steps. That should be about it from what I know. The firmware folder, I believe, might be a way to avoid using Zadig to change the USB, but I really don't know what that is. So if you need any more help, leave a comment and I will do my best to answer to you. Good luck.